Merry meet and welcome to Psalmic Saturday here at Ariel's Corner. This is Ariel Gatoga and we are streaming live right here on YouTube. I am so sorry. I don't have the right video on here. Oh, technical difficulties. Just a moment, please. This will work. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are streaming live on YouTube, and moderating for us today are the lovely Honeypaw and the lovely Dre. Thank you so much, moderators, and thank you so much to everyone for being here. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Just as the timestamp is not correct. Well, I apologize if I made a mistake. I do that sometimes. Get used to it. There's going to be many more. Anyway, what was I going to tell you? Oh, I'm going to be gone. Today's our last stream, and then we will be back a week from Wednesday, which is the 18th of June. No, it is the 25th of June. So that will be our next stream after today. So nothing tomorrow, nothing next week, but we will be back the following Wednesday. Today's psalm is super long, so that's why our premiere is at 11:15 a.m. instead of our normal 11 a.m. Hopefully that still gives us enough time, and hopefully people are still here because it is a long one. Please do make it over to our premiere today if you have time. We'd love to have you there. If you haven't yet done so, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell. When you hit that notification bell, please choose all notifications, and that way you'll always be notified. It's always nice to be notified, isn't it? Our website's at arielscorner.com, arielscorner.com. We also have a podcast hub, and you can find that at arielspodcasts.com, arielspodcasts.com. While you're at our main website, arielscorner.com, check on the footer of every page. You will find all of our social media links, and that includes our Discord server and our private Facebook group, which are the places that you can become involved with us interactively, as well as on our chat on each of our streams. So if you don't notice already, we do have a chat on this live stream, and you can chat amongst yourselves. And if you have any questions for me, you can put them right in the chat thread. Provided I don't run over, we will be able to get to those questions. Otherwise, bring them on over to the Discord server or the private Facebook group, and we'll do our best to get those questions answered there. Again, I've had several requests on email. I don't like to answer emails, and I don't like to answer direct messages. And it's not because I'm being rude. It's just that it's very time consuming. I had somebody ask me for personal tutoring today, and I'd love to be able to do that, but I just don't have the time for it. I barely have time to keep this channel running. So taking students and things like that is just not practical for me at this time. But that's why we do have that Discord server, and we do have that private Facebook group. So I apologize if that's not enough, but that's the best I can do right now. All right, let's see. Let's just get going, just because this is such a long one. I don't want to go over. Oh, let's see here. I'm going to get myself situated. Boy, you'd think I would be situated. I've been working at it all day. Hang on a second. Here it is. Today we are working Psalm 18. In Psalm Magic, we use Psalm 18 for deliverance from all enemies, to protect the home, to protect from theft, for healing sickness, and it's one of the protection psalms, if you look at the psalm collections on our website. And as such, I'd like to use this for protection, for general protection. Anytime you feel any kind of threat or you feel vulnerable in a negative way, this is a great psalm to come to. It is a bit long, so buckle in. We will get through it, but it's worth it. The way we work Psalm Magic is simple, easy, and effective. We take the psalm that we're working and we speak it out loud all the way through once. This is called an incantation. And after we finish with that, I'm sorry, I cannot look at this chat thread. It's just too distracting. Turn it off, Ariel. Let's get that again. Once we've finished with that incantation, we go back through the psalm and we consider each verse one at a time. And while we're considering each verse, we dig for the hidden meanings that we find behind each of those verses. Those we see as magic seeds. And it's by digging, searching, and applying what we find in these verses that we are in effect taking those magic seeds and planting them in the depths of our mind, where they take root, they grow, they blossom forth, and they bear fruit after their kind. And that is exactly what you and I are going to do together right now with Psalm 18. I will love thee, O Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer. My God, my strength, in whom I will trust, my buckler, and the horn of my salvation, and my high tower. I will call upon the Lord, who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from mine enemies. The sorrows of death compassed me, and the floods of ungodly men made me afraid. The sorrows of hell compassed me about, the snares of death prevented me. In my distress I called upon the Lord, and I cried unto my God. He heard my voice out of his temple, and my cry came before him, even into his ears. Then the earth shook and trembled. The foundations also of the hills moved and were shaken, because he was wroth. There went up a smoke out of his nostrils, and fire out of his mouth devoured. Coals were kindled by it. There went up a smoke out of his nostrils, and fire out of his mouth devoured. Coals were kindled by it. He bowed the heavens also, and came down. His darkness was under his feet, and he rode upon a cherub, and did fly. Yea, he did fly upon the wings of the wind. He made darkness his secret place. His pavilion round about him were dark waters, and thick clouds of the skies. At the brightness that was before him his thick clouds passed, hail, stones, and coals of fire. The Lord also thundered in the heavens, and the highest gave his voice, hailstones and coals of fire. Yea, he sent out his arrows and scattered them. He shot out lightnings and discomfited them. Then the channels of waters were seen. The foundations of the world were discovered at thy rebuke, O Lord, at the blast of the breath of thy nostrils. He sent from above. He took me. He drew me out of many waters. He delivered me from my strong enemy, and from them which hated me. For they were too strong for me. They prevented me in the day of my calamity, but the Lord was my stay. He brought me forth also into a large place. He delivered me because he delighted in me. The Lord rewarded me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of my hands hath he recompensed me. For I have kept the ways of the Lord, and have not wickedly departed from my God. For all his judgments were before me, and I did not put away his statutes from me. I was also upright before him, and I kept myself from mine iniquity. Therefore hath the Lord recompensed me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of my hands in his eyesight. With the merciful thou wilt show thyself merciful. With an upright man thou shalt show thyself upright. With an upright man thou wilt show thyself upright. With the pure thou wilt show thyself pure, and with the froward thou wilt show thyself froward. For wilt thou save the afflicted people, but wilt bring me down high looks. For thou wilt save the afflicted people, but wilt bring down high looks. For thou wilt light my candle. The Lord my God will enlighten my darkness. For by thee I have run through a troop, and by my God have I leapt over a wall. As for God, his way is perfect. The word for the Lord is tried. He is a buckler to all those that trust in him. For who is God save the Lord? Or who is a rock save our God? It is God that girdeth me with strength, and maketh my way perfect. He maketh my feet like hinds' feet, and setteth me upon my high places. He teacheth my hands to war, so that so that a bow of steel is broken by mine arms. Thou hast also given me the shield of thy salvation, and thy right hand hath holden me up, and thy I'm going to do that whole verse again. Thou hast also given me the shield of thy salvation, and thy right hand hath holden me up, and thy gentleness hath made me a great. Sorry. I apologize. And thy gentleness hath made me great. Thou hast enlarged my steps under me, thou hast enlarged my steps under me, that my feet did not slip. I have pursued mine enemies. I have pursued mine enemies and overtaken them. Neither did I turn again till they were consumed. I have wounded them that they were not able to rise. They are fallen under my feet. For thou hast girded me with the strength. Oh. I am so sorry. I've got this little tickle in my throat. Just give me a second. That's better. For thou hast girded me with strength unto the battle. Thou hast subdued me. Thou hast subdued under me those that rose up against me. Thou hast also given me the necks of mine enemies, that I might destroy them that hate me. They cried, but there was none to save them, even unto the Lord, but he answered them not. Then did I beat them small as the dust before the wind. I did cast them out as the dirt in the streets. Thou hast delivered me from the strivings of the people. Thou hast made me the head of the heathen. A people whom I have not known shall serve me. As soon as they hear of me, they shall obey me. The strangers shall submit themselves unto me. The strangers shall fall away, and be afraid out of their close places. The Lord liveth, and blessed be my rock, and let the God of my salvation be exalted. It is God that avengeth me, and subdueth the people under me. He delivereth me from mine enemies. Yea, thou liftest me up above those that rise up against me. Thou hast delivered me from the violent man. Therefore will I give thanks unto thee, O Lord, among the heathen. Sing praises unto thy name. Great deliverance giveth he to his king, and showeth mercy to his anointed, to David, and to his seed forevermore. So this is a psalm that is another psalm dealing with a monarch. So this is a monarch that is speaking for the bulk of this psalm. And it's important that we understand that we need to become that monarch ourselves. Just thinking in terms of the tarot cards, the emperor card calls us to see our lives as our empire and we as the leader of that empire. And so from that perspective, we are approaching the need for protection as if we are that monarch, and our protection is not only for ourselves as individuals, but for all of that which is in our life. So our monarchy includes the people in our lives, our home, our business, our job, our car, our this, our that. That's all subjects within this grand empire that we are that we lead. So it starts out with, I love thee, O Lord, my strength. This is a psalm that really speaks to me of a Samael type energy. Strength is Geburah. And strength in these ancient psalms is more than just being strong, muscularly, or strong in your constitution. It's being strong in battle, being able to defend and being able to defeat an enemy. So I will love thee, O Lord, my strength. So I love the infinite. I love the one powers, the one source, the one substance in all of the universe. And I'm acknowledging that one power, one source, and one substance is also that which is my defense. That is the reason why I don't need to be defensive, because I have the Lord to defend me. The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer, my God, my strength, in whom I will trust, my buckler and the horn of my salvation and my high tower. Now you could take that one verse and memorize it. And anytime you feel as though you are in need of protection, anytime you're feeling vulnerable, you can just say, the Lord is my rock and my fortress, my deliverer, my God, my strength, in whom I will trust, my buckler and the horn of my salvation and my high tower. I will call upon the Lord who is worthy to be praised, so shall I be saved from mine enemies. It's through praise that we are protected. The power of praise is a mighty force of protection. Praise means to acknowledge something enthusiastically as good. So the Lord is that one power, that one source. The Lord is good. It is not only what will protect you, but it is what creates you. It's what gives you life. And so you want to praise that. You want to praise that force. You want to enthusiastically acknowledge that it is good. The sorrows of death compassed me, and the floods of ungodly men made me afraid. So what the sorrows of death are when we are focused on what is not. That's the ego's main game, is to focus on what is not there, to focus on death. And the infinite only sees that which is. And so since we have this propensity to focus our minds from an egoistic perspective on what is not, we therefore are subject to problems. We are subject to vulnerabilities. But the infinite is not subject to those things. So that's why we put our faith in the power that is invincible. And that's how we become invincible, which it shows us soon. The sorrows of hell compassed me about. The snares of death prevented me. Again, this is our focus on what is not there. Hell, Sheol, in the Old Testament, is not a place of torment. It's a place that is a dust heap. It is where everything that is not is returned. So it's the native nothingness out of which all the ego comes and is returned. And that is not where we belong. And when we start focusing on what is not there, when we start focusing on hell, we become entranced by this nightmare. And we are asking to be saved from this nightmare in whatever iterations it is appearing to us. And we are being very clear that the way we do that is to reorient our focus onto the infinite and not onto the darkness of what is not there. In my distress I called upon the Lord, and I cried unto my God. He heard my voice out of his temple, and my cry came before him, even into his ears. So we're putting this in the past tense for two reasons. One reason is if you pray, if you affirm as if something's already happened, it speeds up the manifestation. So that's one way that the Psalms do this. But there's another way that they do this, and that is to think back. This is not the only time that you've been in distress and you were saved. This is not the only time when you've been feeling vulnerable and you were protected. So you want to think back to times before when you were saved in situations like this and realize it's the same power that's going to do it now. And it speeds up your manifestation because you're putting yourself in line with that current rather than avoiding it by being distracted by the darkness of what's not there. Then the earth shook and trembled. This is what happened and what is happening and what will happen. So this is how the infinite has responded to your cry. Then the earth shook and trembled. The foundations also of the hills moved and were shaken because he was wroth. So the infinite looks like he's wroth because it's so different from what the infinite's will for us is. So whatever it is that's causing this need for us to cry out for protection is not in alignment with what the infinite's will for us is. So it appears as though the infinite's angry on our behalf. Now, anger isn't a true emotion that the infinite has, but it can appear that way. And it's a very satisfying image for us, that the earth trembles and the infinite comes out and says, whoa, who do you think you're messing with, right? And on our behalf. There was a smoke out of his nostrils, and fire out of his mouth devoured. There went up a smoke out of his nostrils, and fire out of his mouth devoured. Coals were kindled by it. So angry at this problem is what this image is. And that's a fabulous image of being protected by this infinite source of safety. And anything that doesn't look like what the infinite's will for us is devoured by this fire coming out of its nostrils. He bowed the heavens also and came down, and darkness was under his feet. The problems, the scariness, whatever it is that we're coming to the psalm about, that we're so afraid about, it's under the infinite's feet. The infinite has this. There's absolutely nothing we have to do except for get out of the way and let it happen. And he rode upon a cherub and did fly. Yea, he did fly upon the wings of the wind. So the infinite's taken this form for us to be able to see and is riding on one of its angels. He has made darkness his secret place. His pavilion round about him were dark waters and thick clouds of skies. In other words, the problem's not going to see what hit it. Whatever this is cannot withstand the power that the infinite is, and it will come out of nowhere, and it will take care of it for us. At the brightness that was before him, his thick clouds passed, hailstones and coals of fire, just raining down coals and hailstones, fire, to assault that which is so scary to us. The Lord also thundered in the heavens, and the highest gave his voice, hailstones and coals of fire. Again with the hailstones and coals of fire. Just seeing whatever it is that's so scary for you, being devoured by all of this. Maybe it's a financial thing. Well, it's been devoured. Maybe you're worried that somebody's going to attack you. That attack is devoured. It's not necessarily the person, because the infinite's not going to attack one of its own, but it is going to attack the situation. It is going to attack that which is troubling you. And it's not a true attack. It's just how it appears to be from the point of view of the problem, right? The infinite's not attacking anything or anyone, because it's not in the nature of the infinite to attack. But since it's so different, since the problem that we're trying to be protected from is so different than the infinite's will for us, as the infinite's will for us becomes manifest, it appears as though there's coals from heaven and hailstones and fire and nostrils and all that stuff. So it's a wonderful image to give us that feeling of security, giving us that feeling of safety. Yea, he sent his arrows and scattered them. He shot out lightnings and discomfited them. Then the channels of waters were seen, and the foundations of the world were discovered at thy rebuke, O Lord, at the blast of the breath of thy nostrils. Down to the very foundations of reality are you being protected. Are things happening in a way that is shaking off all that threatens you or that appears to threaten you, so that you can have a visceral understanding of your safety, how safe you are. And you can be very clear that this response from the infinite that appears so violent is simply a reordering of things. You know how sometimes when perhaps you ate something that was really bad for you, you get violently ill? It's not the illness. It's not you getting violently ill and regurgitating that. That's the problem. That's actually the protection from whatever it is that you ingested. This is a similar thing. It's not that the infinite is a threat to anyone or anything. This is now the response and the reaction to whatever it was that was threatening you. It is being regurgitated. It is being destroyed. He sent from above, he took me, he drew me out of many waters. Wherever the problem is, wherever you are in this problem, the infinite's got you, knows right where to get you. And now that you're asking for help and you are giving your you are giving right of way to this force, and you have found that through this praise and gratitude that you are initiating this operation, the infinite just plucks you out of wherever the problem is. Wherever it is, I got you. I know right where you are. You don't have to worry. I never lost track of you, but I needed your permission. I needed your involvement. I needed you to initiate this. But since you have, and you're allowing me, let me help you. So he delivered me from my strong enemy and from them which hated me, for they were too strong for me. The infinite does for us what we can't do for ourselves. So whatever this thing is that just seems so big that there's no way that you can help yourself, it's no problem for the infinite. And now, because of this operation, because we're doing our part properly, the infinite has the right of way to do its part for us. But it couldn't have happened without us working this formula of praise, gratitude, and permission. They prevented me in the day of my calamity, but the Lord was my stay. It doesn't matter how much resistance you've had in trying to get this problem solved on your own. It doesn't matter how many failures you have that you've racked up. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how bad it was. It doesn't matter how many mistakes you've made. It does not matter. The infinite knows exactly what to do, and it's not a problem. There is nothing that's difficult for the infinite. He brought me forth also into a large place. He delivered me because he delighted in me. Again, you're not getting this done because the infinite's doing you a favor. The infinite's always going to be there for you. Always. This is not a special circumstance, no matter what. And it's only up to you to do your part in allowing for this relationship to thrive. But it always has to come from us. We always have to make the first step. We can't ever just sit back and say, I don't know why the infinite's not fixing this for us. It's because we have to make that first step. And in this particular psalm, what we had to do was acknowledge the infinite, praise the infinite, give thanks to the infinite, not because the infinite's ego needed to be stroked, but because that was our way of invoking. That was our way of turning on the faucet, with flipping the switch. And now we have to allow for the infinite to do its part, and we basically stay out of the way. The Lord rewarded me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of my hands. Hath he recompensed me. It's very important that the cleanness of your hands and your righteousness is not something that you have any control over. This is how you were created. You were created with clean hands. You were created righteous. So the more you are allowing yourself to live your life as if you are righteous, as if you are perfect, then you don't incur the karmic consequences through the law of cause and effect that then have to be cleaned up before you can get your whatever your manifestation is that you desire, right? So it's up to us to remind ourselves that anything that we do that incurs a problem in the realm of cause and effect is us doing or acting in ways that are inauthentic to our nature. So we have to remind ourselves, I was created righteous. I was created pure. And I can't undo that, but I can create more and more and more illusion and more confusion. And that's what then the infinite has to pluck me out of. But the infinite recognizes me as I am, and that's righteous with clean hands. For I have kept the ways of the Lord and have not wickedly departed from my God. You couldn't if you wanted to. You couldn't depart from the infinite if you wanted to, but you can think you did. And that's when we get into trouble. So if we continuously remind ourselves that we are at one with our source, we are one with our source, we are righteous, we are perfect the way we were created, and so is everybody else. Even though they don't always behave that way, we can see through it. We can see through other people's behavior into their perfection. And when we do that, we are always on the beam of that protection. We don't need to be plucked out as much. But when we do fall asleep to our perfection, and we do fall asleep to the perfection of other people, and we do have problems, we always have a way out. For all his judgments were before me, and I did not put away his statutes from me. So the Infinite always judges us rightly, and we always remember how to respond to any situation when we remember that we are connected and one with the Infinite. Then we can be guided each and every step of the way. I was also upright before him, and I kept myself from mine iniquity. So your own iniquity you keep yourself from when you remind yourself who you are. You are royal. You are that sovereign. You are that emperor. And you get to act like it. Part of being a good emperor, in this case, is being constantly in contact with your source so that you know how to respond. You know what to do. You know how to be in your empire. And when things don't go well, if you go directly to the Infinite to have things corrected, your success is assured. And that's what we're doing here. Therefore hath the Lord recompensed me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of my hands in his eyesight. The Infinite's eyesight is not going to see things the same way that we do. The Infinite only sees the truth. And from the Infinite's point of view, there is no hail, there is no coal, there is none of that. That's not what's happening. The Infinite's only seeing your righteousness. So anything that doesn't look like your righteousness looks like it's getting attacked. But that's an illusion. That's an illusion from the perspective of the ego mind, because the ego mind attacks. So it gets back what it puts out. So as we learn how to relate only to the soul and our righteousness, our connection to the Infinite, we are always protected. And all of our problems, all of these issues in the three-dimensional world get righted. And from their perspective, sometimes it looks as though there is coal raining down from heaven, which is kind of fun. If you think about it, it's just like, well, yeah, there's coal raining down from heaven on my behalf. Isn't that cool? With the merciful thou wilt show thyself merciful. With an upright man thou wilt show thyself upright. With the pure thou wilt show thyself pure. And with the froward thou wilt show thyself froward. Thou wilt show thyself froward. So the Infinite appears based on the nature of the person perceiving the Infinite. And that's because of our powers of projection. But if we recognize who we are as righteous and with clean hands as we were created, then the Infinite just shows itself as the loving source that it truly is. There is no filter. We don't experience the hailstones. We don't experience the raining coals. We don't experience the fire from the nostrils. We don't experience any of that because we haven't projected that. We haven't been that way. We aren't coming from that perspective. So that's not what we're getting back. It's the whole idea of cause and effect and the boomerang nature of living in this world. What we put out comes back. And that's the Infinite's law. As we sow, so shall we reap. So that wonderful wisdom and understanding gives us all the power. What we put out, we get back. So it's taught us several times in this psalm that our righteousness and our clean hands are what are the perspective and the lens through which we must see everything. And that way we get back that. Everything else gets the hailstones and the fire and coals. For thou wilt light my candle. For the Lord my God will enlighten my darkness. The enlightenment that we seek comes from this connection to our infinite source. That's the only thing that can enlighten us. And when we allow the enlightenment to happen, when we allow that candle within to be lit on our behalf, then we see things clearly. And we realize that we don't really need this protection because we are safe. We are safe. We are at one with our source, and nothing can touch us. For by thee I have run through a troop, and by my God have I leapt over a wall. When we're in connection with our righteousness, with our purity, and with our source, there's nothing that we can't accomplish. As for God, his way is perfect. The word of the Lord is tried. He is a buckler to all those that trust in him. The infinite's way is the way, and nothing can stand against it. And one with this force is a majority, and nothing can stand against anyone who is one with this force. So as we recognize this and remind ourselves of this, all is well, because the infinite's will is the same thing as our divine will, our true will. The divine design of our lives then start to shine forth, and nothing can go up against that. Nothing can harm that. For who is God save the Lord, or who is a rock save our God? So if we are looking to the world for our salvation, if we're looking for a specific outcome, if we're looking for a specific amount of money, if we're looking for a specific relationship, a specific whatever, job, car, if we're looking to the world to make us feel safe, we'll never find that safety. But if we're looking to the infinite, well, who is God save the Lord? Who is a rock save our God? That is safety. That is security. And there's nothing that can move you when you're one with that infinite. It is God that girdeth me with strength and make my way perfect. Makes your way perfect. I don't have to fear because I know that the infinite's with me. And I can walk one step at a time, doing what's right in front of me to do, guide it, knowing that that force goes with me and makes my way perfect. So I'm not going to think about my way anymore. I'm not going to think about my personal way. I'm going to think about my soul's way, which is the way that the infinite has for me. And by the way, is the way that gives me everything I want in this world. Because that is where all my talents are. That's where all my happiness is. That's where all my success is, my prosperity. And you know that. You know that when people are following their true will, that everything works out for them and they're very successful and very happy. And this is giving us that in spades here. It is God that girdeth me with strength and make my way perfect. He maketh my feet like hinds' feet and setteth me upon high places. There's no way that we could have gotten to where we're going to go all by ourselves as little separate egos trying to figure things out. But when we're at one with the infinite and we're at one with our true will and the will of the universe, we can't help but be successful. It happens no matter what. Nothing can stand in our way. He teacheth my hands to war, so that a bow of steel is broken by mine arms. No matter what's in front of you, when you're allowing the infinite to guide you and lead you, it can't stand against you. It's as if these big problems that you've had are snapped in two by your fingers like a toothpick. Thou hast also given me the shield of thy salvation, and thy right hand hath holden me up, and thy gentleness hath made me great. So the infinite's very gentle with you. It appears to be very severe to the problem. It's very important to differentiate that. The infinite's never going to be severe with you because you're its beloved. But to your problems, it will appear as though the infinite's extremely severe. Thou hast enlarged my steps under me, that my feet did not slip. When you are one with the infinite, you don't make mistakes. And when you do make a mistake, it's fixed because you remind yourself to go right back to the infinite to undo the consequences of those mistakes. I have pursued mine enemies and overtaken them, neither did I turn again until they were consumed. So you don't have to give up. You don't have to make do in this world. When you're one with the infinite, if the problem's not solved, that's because you haven't completed it yet. It's not done until it's done. It's not complete until it's complete. The infinite's not satisfied until you're happy. So you don't need to make do. I have wounded them that they were not able to rise. They are fallen under my feet. All of your problems are going to fall into your feet, and you're going to walk all over them. They're going to end up being your strength. All of the problems are going to turn into opportunities for you. For thou hast girded me with strength unto the battle. Thou hast subdued under me those that rose up against me. When it's under your feet, that means that you get understanding. And that's your biggest takeaway from this, is that you're going to understand things differently. Because all of the problems that you've had, or the things that you feel like you needed protection from, then become your strength. Thou hast also given me the necks of mine enemies, that I might destroy them that hate me. The necks of your enemies, these are your problems. These are the things that you're afraid of. They're not people necessarily. You're not going to break people's necks. I mean, we're clear on that. These are symbols. But what this is that not only are you going to be delivered from the problem, you are going to be master of the problem. You're going to be a master because of it. They cried, but there was none to save them, even not unto the Lord, but he answered them not. The infinite's not there for darkness. The infinite's not there for what's not there. If it's not real, it doesn't reach the infinite's ears. The only thing that reaches the infinite's ears is that which the infinite creates. So you have every right to this. You have every right to this relationship with your Creator, and your problems do not. Then did I beat them small as the dust before the wind. I did cast them out as the dirts in the streets. And it's no big deal. You cast them out like dirts in the streets. You're shaking off a rug. You're just shaking off a rug. You're sweeping your floors. Your problems that were so scary, it's just, you sweep it right out the door, and it's as if it wasn't even there, and you forget all about it. Thou hast delivered me from the strivings of the people, and thou hast made me the head of the heathen. A people whom I have not known shall serve me. Again, the problems then become mastered by you. And not only do you get out of the problem, do you get out of the thing that you're afraid of, but it becomes your strength. It's repurposed for your good. As soon as they hear of me, they shall obey me. The strangers shall submit themselves unto me. The stranger being those parts of your mind that were at odds with you are now being repurposed, and you're recognizing that those parts of your mind that were confused and that were listening to the ego mind are now re-educated and are listening to you and the infinite, and they're now serving you. The strangers shall fall away and be afraid out of their close places. So whatever this is that you've brought to the psalm that seems so threatening to you are fading away. It's not even that violent at this point. Now it's just fading. It's fading like an apparition, which is exactly what it was. The Lord liveth, and blessed be my rock. Let's say that again. The Lord liveth, and blessed be my rock, and let the God of my salvation be exalted. Very important verse there. So the Lord is life. Life itself cannot be destroyed, will never stop being, is always, is eternal. And so are you, because you're a direct extension of that. And so as your rock, meaning as something, the thing that you can depend on, you exalt it. You exalt this relationship with the infinite as your rock. You don't look to the world for your security anymore. You look to the infinite for your security, and that's reflected in the world. It is God that avengeth me and subdueth the people under me. So you don't have to be defensive. You don't have to talk bad about your problems or the people in your life. You don't have to get caught up in the hubbub of the world. In fact, that takes you away from this. It makes you more vulnerable to your problems. If you recognize that the infinite's got this and you don't need to defend yourself, that the infinite's doing it through you and for you, then you don't have to get caught up in all of the conversations around you about how bad everything is and how scary everything is and how unsafe everything is. Again, not to diminish what everyone's going through. But from a magical perspective, you need to disregard that and put your faith in the infinite, and the infinite will take care of all of that for you. He delivereth me from mine enemies, yea, thou liftest me up above those that rise up against me. Thou hast delivered me from the violent man. So no matter what's going on in the world is very violent. The world is very scary. The world is a lot of ego projections, and there is no depths to the depravity of what the ego can come up with. Right? So you can't look to the world and say, "Oh, I hope it gets better." It's not going to all by itself. It's not in the nature of the world to do anything other than reflect back what everybody's projecting onto it. And people that aren't looking to the infinite are going to continually project onto the screen of space their own negative thinking. And that's just how it is. And there's nothing you can do about other people's projections. But you don't have to be at the effect of the world, because you're putting your faith in the infinite, and therefore you are always protected. You are always protected from these projections of the mass consciousness that we are existing in. He delivereth me from mine enemies, yea, thou liftest me up above those that rise against me. Thou hast delivered me from the violent man. The infinite's doing it. Therefore will I give thanks unto thee, O Lord, among the heathen, and sing praises unto thy name. I'm not waiting until everything's perfect. In the midst of the problem, in the midst of whatever has been so scary, I am giving thanks as if it's already happened. And that's just the basic formula for all magic to be successful. You don't wait for the problem to be solved. You don't wait for the manifestation of the desire and then give thanks. You give thanks in the midst of it, because it's through that praise and gratitude that the manifestations occur. Great deliverance giveth he to his king, and showeth mercy to his anointed, to David and to his seed forevermore. Now, David here is a representation of you as the monarch. So it's to you. When it's talking about David in this psalm, it's talking about you. You are David in this psalm. So great deliverance giveth he to his king. So you're the infinite's monarch. You are the representation of the infinite. You are the emperor. And showeth mercy to his anointed. You are the anointed. You are the Messiah here. You are David. You are the special one. And to his seed forevermore, because you are the seed of the anointed. You are the seed of the infinite. And you are here to shine. You are here to prosper. You are here to grow. You are here to thrive. And the infinite has great, great, great plans for you. And so all of these problems that you need protection from, of course, it's the will of the infinite that happens, because you have barely even started to understand all of the greatness that is available to you and that the infinite has in store for you. So I never opened my book, but maybe I'll do that for the video's sake. You just keep coming back to this psalm again and again, every single day. And eventually you're going to get a sense of peace and certainty that your spell is cast, that all is well. And as soon as that happens, that's when you know your spell has been cast. And you don't have to do anything about it. You just forget about it. You put it out of your mind and you move on to something else. Thank you very much for spending some time with me. Until next time, blessed be. While we're seeing if we have any questions, I will just get some footage of this for when I do a video. Let's see if we have any questions. Oh dear, okay. Merry meet. The Lord, a dragon in this psalm. It could be that. Yeah, it could be seen as that. That's why I think of this as a Samael psalm. It just seems like the Lord as Samael, this avenging angel. Will there be other premieres while you're gone besides the one on the 18th? If I can get anything done, I will get those premieres scheduled. So if I have time today, because today is my last day before I leave early in the morning. So if I have time to do another premiere, it will be scheduled. Otherwise, we'll just do them all when I get back. Is putting talismans somewhere you'll see them counterproductive? Are they best made and forgotten until you discard them? It depends on the talisman. It depends on what you're using it for. If the talisman is there, if it's a type of talisman that you're carrying with you in order to feel safe, in order to feel better, then sometimes it's good just to see it, right? But a lot of the talismans we hide them, and that's an indicator to our deep mind that the seed has been planted and we're not digging it back up again. So if you're doing a multiple day spell, you'll probably take the talisman out every day and gaze upon it and do whatever work you're doing with it. But once your spell has been cast, it's best just to keep that put away. And then I always destroy it on the following new moon. And that's sort of like a symbol of how the seed itself is destroyed in favor of the plant growing. Now, if it's a banishing psalm, it's not really a seed I'm planting. So I usually tend to rip it up right then and there. As soon as I'm finished with the spell, I will rip up that talisman and throw it away as an indicator that whatever it is that I'm letting go of is now gone. So those are very, very good questions. Thank you so much. I hope I got it all. All right. I hope to see everybody over at our premiere that's happening in just a few minutes. I can't believe we got through all of that, but we did. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much to the amazing moderators, Honey Paw and Dre, and we'll see you all in a little over a week. Until next time, blessed be.